If you're playing Elden Ring, you've no doubt encountered the NPC invaders or maybe even PvP invaders into your world. You may have also noticed that ranged attacks and spells often will miss because they just seem to have perfect timing dodges with the inputs of your attacks. Well, we've got a way that will make it way easier for you in this video, and if you do find it helpful, make sure to click like and subscribe to support the channel down below, and let us know in the comments if you have any extra tips against invaders or PvP invaders, and we'll all learn together as a community. I'm Paradise Central, and we're going to talk about the Night Sorceries in this video. The Night Sorceries draw from the powers of the Night. There are 7 total within the game. Night Sorceries, interestingly, can't be boosted by any staffs except for 2 Night Sorcery spells, the Night Shard and Comet, that can be boosted by the Staff of Loss and its passive bonus. What makes them so interesting and great against invaders is the projectile sorceries within the Night Sorceries. This includes Ambush Shard, Night Comet, and Night Shard. They can't be seen by enemy NPCs and thus will not attempt to dodge them like they would for their glintstone alternatives. This is absolutely huge for fighting invaders because, as you may know, they perfectly dodge your attacks, basically connected to your inputs, and it can be a bit unfair or frustrating for newer players. But with these spells, they will not attempt to dodge it because they cannot see you casting the projectiles towards them. So it just makes it incredibly easy to fight invaders if you choose to take and use these spells. Let's talk about the Night Comet spell. This is the stronger version of the Night Shard. It's one of the Night Sorceries of Celia, the town of Sorcery, and it fires a semi-invisible magic comet, which can be cast repeatedly and while in motion, and can be charged to increase its potency. The Celian sorcerers were assassins, and it's said they often hunted their fellows. So a little flavour in the description of this in the fact that it's kind of a PvP or an invader focused spell, hence that they were using it against fellow sorcerers. It will require 38 intelligence for the Comet version, and the Staff of Loss will boost its potency by 30%. And it only uses 1 memory slot. It can be chain casts, and like other Comet spells, it will penetrate targets until the end of its range. It cannot be dodged by NPC invaders because they can't see it, so this is an absolutely fantastic option to use against those invaders if you are struggling. You can find this one in the Celia town of Sorcery in a chest in the central section of the town. You will need to light the brazier in the tower to the southwest of the town to unlock the magic seal that is blocking you from opening this chest, and once you've opened it, it's yours. Another worthy spell of note in the Night Sorceries is the Ambush Shard. This is one of the Night Sorceries of Celia, the town of Sorcery once again, and you launch a projectile from a distance removed from the caster so as to strike the enemy from behind. It can be cast in repeated succession, and much like the description of the previous spell, the Celian sorcerers were assassins and they would use this to hunt their fellows. This is great against shielded enemies as well as invader enemies because it will appear behind and after a delay shoot the projectile at them, which means they will not time their dodges correctly to dodge this, and with shielded enemies it will hit them in the back, bypassing their big shields. So this one's absolutely fantastic again for this same scenario, but it's also generally good against a lot of bosses as it does do decent damage, especially if you repeatedly cast this over and over again. You can find this one in the Weeping Peninsula area of the map on a corpse in the underground jail of the Witchbane Ruins. And next, I really wanted to highlight the Eternal Darkness spell, a forbidden sorcery of Celia, the town of Sorcery. You create a space of darkness that draws in sorceries and incantations. It can be cast in motion, and it was originally a lost sorcery of the Eternal City. It was the despair that brought about its ruin made manifest. This spell basically creates a small black hole above you that sucks in any spells and incantation that are launched your way. This makes it fantastic for fighting enemies, invaders, or even bosses like Knight Loretta that use a lot of spell casting, as this Eternal Darkness spell will suck in the spells away from you and keep you safe. You can find this one on a corpse inside the Swamp Lookout Tower jail cell in Caelid, and the best way to get there is from the Church of the Plague. So making use of these Night Sorceries is incredibly good for certain bosses, but also of course the NPC invaders. So if you found this helpful and you're going to use this next time you fight an invader, let us know in the comments down below, and of course support the video by clicking like and subscribing. And the videos on screen now we think you will find really helpful, so make sure to click them and don't miss out because we have lots of Elden Ring content for you already on the channel.